So I think there's immense value in a day like today where as an institution we can reflect on where we're headed, we can reflect on our goals. I think it's really something that distinguishes us from other institutions where we can be self-reflective in a deep and meaningful way, where we really grapple with who we are as an institution and what we want to achieve. So I think that there's tremendous value in a day like today.
That I think was very important that I think at Island was basically to come up with a collective vision, okay? Is that we need to, as a university, as a collective, we need to be clear in terms of who we are and what our purpose is. I think that came out very clear. I think also in terms of plotting a way forward, we also said in terms of we need to look, for example, at our student experience, how our students are experiencing us as a university, also looking at our staff, and then also importantly is to look at our stakeholders. Okay, what are our stakeholders saying about the university? I think what is also important is that we also in our group, in our discussions that we had in our small group, was to look at, for example, not to forget our past, but to actually build on what we have, and then to plot a way forward. I think it was very exciting. I think there's a lot of new ideas that came out of the discussion today. I think I'm very positive that UWC, in plotting our way forward, I'm very positive that we are going to have a very exciting and a new way of looking at higher education in South Africa.
It was a very informative session, giving us a glimpse of where we need to go as a university and also take stock. What I will take away from this, firstly, is the fact that it is an inclusive process, and I am positive that sport will form part of the bigger picture of the university, because we had an opportunity now to be involved from the get-go.
The IOP is a critical moment to bring together constituencies at this university to open up new ideas about where we take this institution. So what I think is absolutely critical for us is the way in which we've tried to understand where UWC is located, how UWC is located in relation to its global, national and international context, and as well as its African context. So what we found in each of the presentations was something to hold on to as we take forward this IOP process, as we reimagine what UWC might be.
I thought today was very valuable. I thought it's the beginning of a conversation. It's really the beginning of a process where all the different parts of actually quite a fragmented community we can start to come together and start thinking who are we really? Why are we here? What is our identity as an institution? And what does that mean for us going forward?
I very much value the nature of the university's engagement with the society. Sometimes it's like what I say, I hope that the new operation plan that will be emphasized, such as job creation based on the innovation.
One of the major things that came out was that our identity. So who are we? Who can we say we are in 2020 as the institution, not only in terms of the staff, but also in terms of students. So we need to look at the aspects of who are we when it comes to students and who are we when it comes to the staff. And the values of having such a day is that in such settings, when you have students, you have staff, you get to understand what both parties are coming from. So you have a sense of what the staff members are experiencing and what they think in terms of when it comes to UWC and all the processes and the system itself, and also have a view in terms of how the students think and where students think we can, because there was a question in terms of what are the gaps. So you cannot speak about students and not students being there. So nothing about us without us.
I would look at it from the point of view of research that has everything to do with changing people's lives. I think as UWC we need to at least find space for that. We've done quite a number of contributions to society, but we have to consolidate those in such a way that they make a lot of meaning, not necessarily for us, but for society in general. We should be known, by those through those contributions, which should be consolidated from the point of view of our research. Our research should contribute to changing people's lives.
I think overall during the day, I think it was a fantastic opportunity just again fundamentally to engage with various individuals or staff members and executives where you wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to engage. So I think that was fantastic, and just getting a bit of insight in terms of what their views and perspectives are, in terms of what aligns and what the future of the institution should be molded and shaped towards. So that was my biggest takeaway of the day, and some of the more poignant overviews that came from the guest speakers who were speaking were quite interesting. So I think that in itself formulated a wonderful event in terms of launching the IOP.